Okay, folks. Today I actually am in Cleveland, Ohio. We're going to Willard Park, but I found the courthouse, the Cuyahoga County Courthouse, and thought it was really cool, the architecture. You know, Mr. Traveler, he likes the old buildings and whatnot. And there's Rufus P. Rainey, 1813 to 1891. I don't know if that's the years he served as a judge or what. And then down here we have John Marshall, 1755 to 1835. As I said, I thought this was cool, so of course I'm going to bring it to you. When we get to Willard Park, I'll turn the camera back on. Okay, I think I might have made it to Willard Park. I'm not totally sure. I did find an interesting stone or plaque or whatever you want to call it. But I also want to show you the Huntington Field for my baseball fans. I do believe that's where the Cleveland Guardians play. I think that's the baseball field. I'm not sure. It might be the football field. But as I said, I do believe Huntington Field is where the Cleveland Guardians play. And this is near the site stood the house in which was born on January 1st, 1860, Major General Clarence Ransom Edwards, DSM. I'm not sure what those initials mean. Commanding officer and beloved daddy of the 26th Yankee Division, AEF. Again, not sure what the initials mean. In the Great World War, no leader was more loved or respected. No leader was a greater inspiration to men. So if any of you all know what those initials mean, let me know in the comment section. And hey, please watch the whole video. It really will help me out, and I will greatly appreciate it. And across the way there is the Cleveland Science Center. I'm back on the... And then in the distance there too, between the field and the Science Center, is Lake Erie. And I'm going to walk on. As I said, I'm not totally sure if this is Willard Park or another park. There's the Huntington Convention Center. I want to show there's benches all along here. Probably can sit. People might come out here during lunch hour and eat. And there's a bunch of nice wildflowers here too. And I found these, I don't know if you want to call them towers. I'm not exactly sure what this is. It's, I guess, art or what. It's like mirrors. They have 3 of them. I'll show you. Go around here. They also have in front of them bike things to tie your bike up. And we are in Willard Park because there's the Willard Park garage. So there, as I said, we got 1 thingy-majigger, 2 thingamajiggers, and 3 thingamajiggers. Ha ha ha! This video will be brought to you by the number 3. I'm going to go on and see if I can find exactly what I'm looking for. I guess, and there it looks like they're doing work on it, but I guess this is the Cleveland City Hall here. There is, I guess that's a pigeon. That was so nice in flight. Well, it's nice out of flight too. I like pigeons. I know, y'all can make nasty comments about me liking pigeons, and to be honest, I don't really get to see them where I live, so it's kind of cool. Now this is a cannon, which is not why we really came here, but I wanted to show it to y'all. Pulaski Square, erected by the Polish Legion of American Veterans with the aid of the Poles of Cleveland. Neat. So I found a couple more of those glass tower type things, and I guess these are steps or bleachers. There's another one, but it has people on it, so I don't want to tape that one, but I guess there's steps here, and then there's bleachers there you can sit, and I guess there you could, if you get to the top too, you probably could get a decent lookout over the lake. So I thought this was kind of interesting and wanted to show you some newer or different things than I've ever really seen in parks. So there's a Greater Cleveland Memorial Society Peace Officers Honor Our Fallen in the park here, and nice flowers. And then of course Old Glory and some other flags. And a little bush, and then there's inside the circle here, if I can get around there, is, oh cool, there's a bench, which, in honor of all police officers who made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty, Cleveland Police Patrolmen's Association. And then inside is all the names of the officers, and I really do appreciate you police officers who work to protect us. And you know, it's not easy to do what you all do. And here's a saying dedicated to all peace officers who have died in the line of duty in service to their communities and to our nation. Those whom we seek to honor with this memorial represent a diverse group of organizations that make up the greater Cleveland law enforcement community. Those officers served, suffered, and died for one common cause: to protect the lives and property of the citizens of our area. So here is the main reason I came. This is the world's largest rubber stamp. Free. And I'm gonna read to you a little bit of the history. Cleveland's giant free stamp is a nod to the Civil War, but was misinterpreted for years. In 1985, major oil company Standard Oil of Ohio, also known as Sohio, opened up the 45th floor Sohio building in downtown Cleveland at the height of 659 feet. The mundane corporate headquarters needed some color and distinctiveness to brighten it up, and Sohio CO Alton Whitehouse had just the plan. Whitehouse commissioned husband and wife sculptors Claes Oldenburg and Kusji van Bruggen to design the world's largest rubber stamp. The pair worked together for weeks to create a giant 49-foot red stamp with the word "free" printed on the bottom. The word "free" was chosen because the Soldiers and Sailors Monument of Cleveland was located directly across the street from the Ohio building, which honors soldiers from the Civil War and freedom from slavery. Unfortunately for the sculptors, a short time after the stamp sculpture was commissioned, Ohio was taken over by British Petroleum. Robert Horton, the CEO of BP, refused to give the project his stamp of approval. Horton apparently thought that the word "free" on the stamp was intended to mock and humiliate BP for taking away the corporate freedom of Ohio. Even though this accusation was unsupported and incorrect, Horton's decision permanently banned the giant stamp from the property. The giant stamp was held in a warehouse in Indiana for the next 6 years until 1991, when the stamp was finally released to the public. The heavy object was hauled into Cleveland's Willard Park, just a few blocks away from its original proposed location. To this date, the free stamp in Cleveland has held onto the title of world's largest stamp and has won the approval of the city park goers. And I might not necessarily be a frequent Cleveland City Park dweller, but I approve of it too. I'm going to walk around this baby. Unfortunately, I don't have a thingy where I can sit up and stand next to it so you can see how big it is, but hopefully you're able to tell how huge this thing is. You know what? I'm 5'10", and this is the middle part of the stamp, and we're going to walk through it. I had a duck maybe slightly going through that, but not really. So there's the stamp, and unfortunately people have put graffiti on it. You know, people don't, you know. I know you all have heard my thoughts about graffiti on this type of thing. Some of the graffiti on trains is kind of cool, and this is the back of the stamp. You can hopefully see how huge this thing is. So I'm going to go around front again. For handicap friendliness, I have to give this park a 9 out of 10. There's a few spots where you have to go on the grass and it's a little bumpy, but it's doable. I mean, it's not hard. So as I get around front here, I'm gonna get in the shade. Across the street you see Cleveland. So as always, I gotta say, whether you need a cane, wheelchair, wheeled walker as I've been using today to get around, it's not making you handicapped, it's making you handy-capable. Thank you all for watching the whole video. I will have buy me a tank of gasoline link down below. Unfortunately, it can't click on it. You gotta cut and copy it. But if you wish to help support me, I appreciate that too. Not necessary, but would really appreciate your help. And have a great day. God bless.